All right, let's get straight into it. Today on the deep dive, we're throwing down in the crypto octagon for a main event, Arbitrum versus Avalanche.
Big one.
Yeah, definitely.
So consider this your ringside pass to a crypto judo battle.
Exactly. We've got two really formidable contenders here, both vying for supremacy, especially in the Web3 gaming arena.
And we're going to treat this like a strategic clash, round by round. We'll dissect their strengths, their weaknesses, key areas, looking for maybe a knockout or at least a clear points victory based on the info we have.
So let's step into round one, marketing muscle. Avalanche seems to come out swinging first with a pretty broad multi-channel approach.
That's right. Yeah, they've launched these campaigns like Avalanche 9000, and they've strategically rebranded their subnets as Avalanche L1s. It feels like they're aiming for wider appeal.
Wider appeal, okay.
Yeah, and their strategy includes significant investment in education, developer resources, tech upgrades, think Etna, Avalanche Network 3.0. They're even looking into AI integration.
Oh, interesting.
And they're definitely highlighting success stories like off the grid, getting, millions of users. It's a very global approach, seems designed to capture a broad audience.
Okay, interesting. Now, Arbitrum's corner. It feels like they're focusing on a more maybe targeted strategy, really playing to its strengths with Ethereum compatibility, the scaling narrative. They're heavily promoting their gaming catalyst program. And we saw a few different figures, right? $200 million, $225 million in sources.
Yeah, the exact number varied a bit, but the message is clear. Serious money going into gaming.
Right. Serious investment. And they're also highlighting these key partnerships with big Web3 VCs, Paradigm, Framework, BIT crafting.
Yeah.
Emphasizing that seamless transition for Ethereum users and those high-profile game launches.
So what's fascinating here is just the contrast in their opening moves, right?
Yeah.
Avalanche casts this wide net, aiming for broad visibility, maybe mainstream option, potentially bringing in a larger, more casual crowd. Arbitrum's Ethereum focus, though, that directly targets a huge existing developer and user base already in Web3. It's kind of breadth versus depth.
So who lands the first punch here?
Well, based on the initial buzz and, the user numbers mentioned in the sources, it kind of looks like Avalanche might land the first significant blow just in terms of sheer visibility.
Okay, round one visibility maybe to Avalanche. Ding dang, round two. Community clash.
Arbitrum steps up.
What's their angle?
Well, Arbitrum enters the fray with a really strong active developer community, drawing heavily, as you said, from Ethereum.
Right, the Ethereum connection.
Exactly. They've got active DAO governance, various grant programs, lots of engagement happening on social media, Discord. Their community seems really focused on supporting existing Ethereum dApps and bringing users over. They're even driving funding for gaming and infrastructure from within the community.
Okay, strong core community. How does Avalanche counter?
Avalanche counters with, again, that broad global community. They have specific regional initiatives, like in Latin America.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and they've really put a strong emphasis on being developer-friendly, lots of documentation, their multiverse program, and significant grant funding. One source mentioned $290 million. Those are powerful community incentives.
Wow, $290 million. That's quite the incentive.
It is. Plus, the success of games on their subnets has naturally pulled in a large user base, and they keep the engagement up with regular events, hackathons.
So who takes this round then? Community strength. Arbitrum feels really embedded in that Web3 core, but Avalanche seems like it's building something potentially bigger, more mainstream.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's a really tight contest. Arbitrum definitely benefits from the built-in strength of the Ethereum dev base and that active DAO. But Avalanche's global reach, plus those substantial incentives through multiverses, they've arguably cultivated a larger and more diverse user base overall. That wider net could maybe translate to greater long-term sustainability, more organic growth.
So a slight edge, maybe?
It's very close, but yeah, I'd say the sheer scale of Avalanche's community initiatives might just give them a slight edge on points for this round.
Okay, close round. Moving into round three, strategic partnership power plays. Arbitrum seems to be making some calculated moves here, partnering with the top Web3 VCs like Paradigm, Framework, BITK Raft.
Right, focusing on the crypto native side.
Exactly. And aligning with innovative Web3 game studios, Wildcard, Proof of Play, Shy. They're also supporting cross-platform stuff like Hive Labs. Feels like they're really strengthening ties within that existing Web3 gaming world.
Consolidating within their ecosystem. Avalanche, meanwhile, answers with some pretty powerful alliances, but often outside that traditional crypto sphere.
Like what?
Most notably, AAA game studios. Think Gunzilla Games, the Off the Grid team, and Nexon with MapleStory. Big names.
Wow, okay. AAA partnerships, that's significant.
Definitely. And they're also collaborating with AI and infrastructure firms like Kite AI, plus key players in DeFi and NFTs. And they're strategically partnering with regional crypto leaders to boost adoption, forming alliances to really push their subnet and L1 tech.
So it really looks like Arbitrum's is doubling down on Web3, while Avalanche is actively bridging into the traditional gaming world.
That's a good way to put it.
Which strategy feels more impactful then for long-term growth, for getting that mainstream audience?
Well, if you're thinking about mass adoption potential, Avalanche's partnerships with AAA studios, that carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Those collaborations could potentially bring millions of traditional gamers into Web3, really bridging that gap. While Arbitrum's Web3 native partnerships are crucial for innovation inside the crypto space, Avalanche's reach into established gaming, that could be the more decisive factor, in this round. Partnership power.
All right, round 3 leans towards Avalanche's broader reach. Now for round 4, speed and utility strikes. This is where the technical gloves come off.
Yeah, the nitty-gritty.
And we've got some pretty significant differences in the stats reported. Arbitrum's real-time transactions per second, TPS, it's around 34, 35.
Yeah, 34.52 is one number cited.
Whereas Avalanche boasts over 4,500 TPS in real-world use.
Big difference there.
Huge. Now, Arbitrum's theoretical max is way higher, like 40,000, but Avalanche's proven capacity is still significantly greater right now.
True. And then you look at block times, Arbitrum's around 13 seconds. Avalanche, super fast, 2 seconds.
And maybe the killer stat for gaming, finality. How long till a transaction is truly locked in? Arbitrum's like 16 minutes.
Yeah, that optimistic roll-up challenge window.
While Avalanche achieves it almost instantly, like 1 second.
Around 1 second, yeah. Near instant finality. And what's really critical to get here is the trade-off in their design, right? Arbitrum's optimistic rollup processes transactions off-chain in batches, which allows for potentially higher throughput later, maybe? Think of it like sending one big package instead of lots of small ones to save on fees and time, sort of.
Right, efficiency.
But Avalanche's consensus mechanism, it prioritizes that real-time processing and that incredibly fast finality.
And for gamers.
For gamers, yeah, especially in fast-paced games, that finality difference, it can be totally game-changing. Like, imagine buying an in-game item. On Arbitrum, technically, it could take up to 16 minutes to be fully confirmed.
Wow.
On Avalanche, it's practically instant.
Exactly. Okay, so speed and finality clearly favor Avalanche there. What about utility and specific gaming solutions? Arbitrum's pushing its layer 3 rollups, right?
Yeah.
Orbit, aiming for gasless transactions.
Yep, Orbit L3s for gasless, plus that big gaming catalyst program, the $200 million plus fund we talked about. And they leverage their EVM compatibility, the Ethereum virtual machine compatibility. That means a lot of Ethereum games can switch over relatively easily. We're seeing examples like Pirate Nation, Plain Ants, Zverse building there.
Gotcha. And Avalanche?
Meanwhile, Avalanche really highlights its high-speed layer 1, which was kind of built from the ground up for DeFi, NFTs, and gaming. They're customizable subnets backed by that $290 million multiverse incentive fund.
The subnets again.
Yeah, they allow developers to create these game-specific blockchains tailored exactly to their needs. That flexibility plus the cross-chain interoperability, those are major selling points.
We see big games there too.
Absolutely. Off the grid, DeFi Kingdoms, Shrapnel, they're thriving on Avalanche, and many of them offer those sought-after gasless transactions within their own subnet environments.
Okay. So in this round, speed and utility. Delivers the knockout blow. That near-instant finality on Avalanche, it just seems like a massive win for gaming's real-time needs.
You've basically hit the nail on the head there. For gaming, especially genres needing immediate feedback, high transaction volumes, Avalanche's speed and that near-instant finality offer a really significant competitive edge right now. And the ability for devs to create those super customized subnet environments, that just amplifies the advantage. While Arbitrum's L3 solutions definitely hold promise for the future, Avalanche's current tech seems more immediately suited to what many modern Web3 games need.
So round 4 clearly goes to Avalanche.
Yeah, I think this round definitely goes to Avalanche.
Okay, now for the final round before the judge's decision.
Yeah.
Tokenomics tactics. Let's look under the hood at the engines powering these ecosystems. Arbitrum's token, ARB. What's the story?
Okay, ARB. It has an uncapped supply, which is important. Its primary function right now is governance through the Arbitrum DAO.
Right, voting.
Exactly. It operates on an inflationary model, meaning more tokens can be created based on governance decisions, and currently it doesn't offer direct staking rewards for holding it.
Okay, uncapped, governance, inflationary, no staking. What about AVX?
Conversely, Avalanche's AVX token has a hard cap 720 million max.
Fixed supply.
Yep. Its main uses are paying network fees, staking to secure the network, which is crucial, and also for creating those subnets we keep mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
It uses a deflationary model because transaction fees are burned, which reduces the total supply over time.
Ah, burning fees. Interesting.
Yeah, and additionally, AVX holders can stake their tokens and earn rewards, usually somewhere between 8 to 11% APY, which incentivizes people to lock up tokens and help secure the network. Though, as you pointed out, the fee burns do offset some of the inflation from those rewards.
So thinking long-term viability, network security, especially for a thriving gaming ecosystem whose tokenomics offer a stronger foundation, deflationary AVX versus inflationary ARB.
Well, that's a really crucial point for the long-term health of each platform, isn't it? AVX's capped supply and that fee-burning mechanism create deflationary pressure. That can be really appealing to investors as it potentially increases the scarcity and value over time.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the staking rewards directly incentivize users to participate in securing the network. Now, while ARB's governance model is great for empowering the community,
Sure.
the lack of a supply cap and no direct staking rewards, that might be seen as a less robust foundation for long-term value and security, especially in such a competitive space.
So this round.
I think based on those factors, the cap, the burn, the staking Avalanche likely takes this round on points as well.
All right, so after a pretty grueling 5 rounds of this Crypto Judo showdown, based purely on the analysis of the sources you provided, it feels like it's time to declare a provisional heavyweight champion, at least for now, in the Web3 gaming arena.
Yeah, tallying up the scorecards, based on our round-by-round look, Avalanche appears to have secured a points victory overall.
Okay, walk us through that.
Well, their broader marketing reach seems to have generated significant buzz and user adoption, as we saw in round 1. Their community, boosted by those big incentive programs, is large and diverse slight edge in round 2. Their partnerships, crucially, extend beyond just Web3 into established gaming, giving them a strong path to mainstream adoption clear win in round 3.
Right, the AAA connection.
Exactly. And then, technically, their superior speed, that near-instant finality, and the flexible subnet tech. That seems particularly well-suited for today's Web3 gaming demands. Definite win in round 4.
And the tokenomics?
And finally, yeah, their deflationary tokenomics model with staking offers a pretty compelling long-term value proposition compared to ARB's current model. So round 5 too.
Okay, sounds like a strong case based on the rounds. But Arbitrum definitely put up a strong fight, right? We shouldn't discount them.
Oh, absolutely not. Arbitrum fought hard. Their deep integration with Ethereum gives them this incredibly powerful and active developer base. That's a huge asset.
Yeah?
Their focus on Web3 native collaborations could absolutely lead to major innovation within crypto gaming specifically. And, that potential for higher theoretical scalability down the line with things like L3s, that shouldn't be dismissed either.
True. Future potential is there.
And it's also important we acknowledge some caveats, some concerns raised in the sources themselves.
Like what?
Well, for Avalanche, there were mentions about the potential complexity of managing that multi-chain architecture, the subnets, and some questions around the long-term sustainability of the subnet validator incentives.
Okay. And for Arbitrum?
On Arbitrum's side, some sources kind of critiqued the sheer scale of their Gaming Catalyst program, that big fund, questioning its timing relative to the overall downturn we saw in Web3 gaming investment in 2024. Like, is it too aggressive?
Right, context matters. So let's try and recap this whole battle then.
Okay, both Arbitrum and Avalanche are absolutely serious contenders, no doubt. They just have distinct strengths and strategies. Based on today's analysis, Avalanche currently seems to have an edge, particularly in current technical performance for gaming and that broader market penetration.
While Arbitrum
strongly leverages its position within the massive Ethereum ecosystem, banking on that for future growth and perhaps more crypto-native innovation.
Okay. So this brings us to our final thought, really, for you, the listener.
Yeah. Which of these platforms do you think actually has the stronger strategy for long-term dominance in Web3 gaming?
Is it Avalanche's focus on speed, usability now, and those mainstream partnerships?
Or will Arbitrum's deep Ethereum roots, that dedicated community, and maybe their future scalability potential prove to be the winning formula in the end?
And what unexpected twists could happen? what other factors might step into the ring and completely change the direction of this ongoing crypto judo match. We hope you enjoyed this ringside view of the Arbitrum versus Avalanche battle. Keep exploring.